Have you ever fallen for someone who never truly cared, but you couldn't stop loving them anyway? Even when they ignored your messages, even when they made you feel small, your heart still refused to move on. It's not weakness, it's psychology. We all have that one person, the one who walked into our life like they were meant to stay forever, and then slowly drifted away without a reason, without a goodbye. You gave them your time, your effort, your emotions, and they gave you mixed signals, empty promises, and silence. Yet, even after all of that, your heart refuses to let go. Every night, your mind replays old conversations, old laughs, old moments, like a broken record that won't stop. You know it's over, but your heart still whispers, maybe they'll come back. And even when you try to move on, something inside you pulls you back, like a rope tied around your emotions, dragging you to a place you swore you'd never return to. But here's the truth. It's not weakness. It's not obsession. It's psychology. Your mind isn't holding on to the person. It's holding on to the feeling they once gave you. Today, we're going to break down exactly why you fall for people who don't love you back, and how you can finally escape this endless cycle. The attachment trap. When you fall for someone, it doesn't just happen in your heart. It happens inside your brain, silently, chemically, powerfully. Every time you see their name pop up on your phone, every time they smile at you, or even say your name, your brain releases a cocktail of chemicals, dopamine and oxytocin. Dopamine, the same chemical that fuels addiction. Oxytocin, the one that builds trust and emotional bonding. Together, they create an illusion that this person is your source of happiness, that they're the reason you feel alive. So when they text you, your brain lights up like a reward machine. And when they stop, that light goes out. You don't just feel sad, you feel empty. Because now your brain is craving that hit again. The rush of attention, the high of validation. The tiny moments that made you feel seen. It's not about them anymore. It's about chasing the chemical storm they left behind. That's why unreturned love feels like withdrawal. It's not heartbreak, it's a detox. You're not missing the person, you're missing the dopamine that came with them. And that's the cruel part, because your mind still thinks that they are the cure to the pain, when in reality, they become the source of it. This is how love turns into an addiction, and why walking away feels impossible. But there's something even deeper happening beneath those chemicals. Something that doesn't begin with them, it begins with you. Psychologists call it your attachment style. It's the emotional blueprint you built as a child, the way you learned to love and to be loved. If you grew up with love that came and went, sometimes warm, sometimes cold, sometimes close, sometimes distant, then your heart learned a dangerous lesson. That love must be chased. So now, when someone gives you mixed signals, when they pull away, ignore you, make you wait, your brain confuses that chaos for connection. It whispers, if I try harder, maybe they'll finally love me. And so you stay. You keep giving, keep proving, keep hoping, not because they deserve it, but because your inner child is still fighting to be chosen. You start mistaking anxiety for passion, uncertainty for depth, and pain for love. That's not romance. That's repetition. A pattern your mind keeps replaying, hoping that this time, the story will end differently. But never does, because love built on fear always collapses under truth. You're not addicted to the person who doesn't love you. You're addicted to the feeling of almost being loved. And that's the cruelest illusion the mind can create. Even after everything, after the silence, after the pain, after they showed you who they really are, you still find yourself going back. You delete their number and somehow end up memorizing it again. You swear it's over until a song, a memory, or a random night brings them back to your mind. It's not weakness. It's cognitive dissonance. Your brain fighting against reality. See, when you love someone deeply, your mind builds a version of them. A perfect, imagined version. So even when they hurt you, you don't see who they are. You see who you hope they would be. And that's the reason you stay. Not for the person standing in front of you, but for the dream of who they used to be or who they might become. Your brain becomes a storyteller, rewriting the truth just to protect your heart. It tells you things like, maybe they'll change. Maybe it was my fault. Maybe this time it'll be different. But deep down, you know it won't. Because they're not the same person your mind still clings to. That version only exists in memory. And that's the cruel beauty of unreturned love. It tricks your heart into believing that healing means getting them back. But healing means letting the fantasy die. Because you can't move forward if you keep watering a memory. You're not addicted to them. You're addicted to the hope of being loved by them. And that hope is the hardest thing to kill. There comes a moment when you finally get tired of waiting. Not angry, not bitter, just tired. Tired of replaying old memories that don't change. Tired of loving someone who doesn't look back. That's when healing begins. Quietly, without fireworks, without closure. You start seeing the truth. They weren't the love of your life. They were the lesson that taught you how much love you're capable of giving. Because what if the purpose of that pain wasn't to destroy you, but to show you what you deserve? Healing isn't about forgetting them. It's about remembering yourself before they broke you. It's about looking at the mirror and realizing that the love you were begging for was supposed to come from you all along. You stop checking your phone. You stop wondering if they'll ever return. Because somewhere inside, you already know the chapter is closed. And maybe one day they'll remember you too. But by then you'll be gone. Not because you stopped caring, but because you finally learned how to care for yourself. Healing isn't loud. It's a quiet decision to stop chasing people who make you feel hard to love. And that is how you break the cycle. Maybe love was never meant to be a battlefield. Maybe it was meant to be a mirror, showing us what we give too easily and what we never learn to give ourselves. You see, the people who don't love you back, they teach you something no one else can. That love without respect isn't love, it's longing. That attention isn't affection. And that being chosen means nothing. If you have to lose yourself to stay, one day you'll wake up and realize you don't crave their text anymore. You don't check your phone in the middle of the night. And that's silence. The same silence that once hurt so much will finally feel like peace. Because real healing doesn't come when they say, "I'm sorry." It comes the moment you whisper to yourself, "I deserve more than this." So if you're still holding on, let this be your sign, not to stop loving, but to start loving yourself first. You were never too much. You were just giving it to the wrong person.